Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and before we get into the full moon that occurred this morning, and yes, sorry, I'm a little bit late, but it was the full moon and definitely had an impact on me and my energy and my work, so I'm doing a little bit of catch up now. I wanted to let you know about some changes that are going on the site within the next probably about 10 days. I will send out an announcement that scheduling will not be available for a couple of hours as I integrate a new plugin that will allow me to embed my own scheduler on my site, and I will be changing over from using a third-party service. So I will let people know if you're on my mailing list beforehand, and if you are not and you come randomly upon my site and find that there is nowhere to schedule, please do not panic. I am beginning to make changes here that will enable people who commonly refer customers to me to be able to make some income from those referrals. So I'm putting in an affiliate program and basically attaching a lot of things to my own shopping cart here instead of off-site. So it's going to take a little bit of work. About half of the work is done already, and the adjustments are being made. So I think by the time we get to the new moon coming up in about 2 weeks, you should be able to sign up as an affiliate if you would like to earn some income through referring people to me. And there will be a new scheduling form that will be embedded on the site and will not take you off to a third-party site. So those are the changes that are coming up ahead in the near future for me. And I've been working particularly hard while the moon is in my third house, which has to do with plans and communication and setting things in motion that have to do with how I reach people, basically. And let's see what's going on now in the heavens for everybody in general. I'm sure everybody's aware that this is a big, big moon. It's a super moon. It is a blue moon, which means that it is the second full moon of the month. We had one on the 1st, and now we have one on the very last day of the month. And it is in Leo. Leo is a fixed fire sign, which means that it can be stubborn and a bit set in its ways. The fixed signs like to take things from start to finish, and they like to be in control, and they don't like other people messing with their stuff. Leo rules the 5th house of creativity, children, romance, gambling, competitive sports. Basically, anywhere that we play and have fun can fall under 5th house activity. And the sun, which is sitting in Aquarius, sits opposite, and that has rulership over the 11th house. That's where the creativity of the 5th house comes out to the stage, the gallery, the audience, the larger group of friends, or where we take the creativity of the 5th up out into the world at large. And while we have the full moon here in Leo and the sun in Aquarius, we're going to have things go on with both those signs, particularly with the sun conjunct Venus right now. I definitely feel the urge for that warm sunshine to come around, you know, that little taste of summer. We had a beautiful sunny day today, and it wasn't quite warm enough for my liking, but I'm seeing little signs of spring, like my cat leaving big chunks of his fur everywhere. So if Spock is shedding, spring cannot be far behind. And hopefully by the next time that we all watch a video together here about the next lunation, we will be looking at much warmer weather and a shift in the energy toward springtime. And of course, we still have some wintry stuff to go through as the sun does go through those winter signs until it comes out of Pisces and into Aries. We're still dealing with winter. And Capricorn energy right now, we still have Mercury lingering. It's at its final degree of Capricorn before it catches up here with the Sun and Venus in Aquarius. So just another day or so, and in fact, it will probably say over here when it moves in. Okay, says it's already done it 2.9 hours ago that Mercury's moved into Aquarius. So now we have all those 3 planets in the sign of Aquarius, and that can make us busy in the outer world or make us concerned about what's going on in the outer world. It is also a sign that has to do with change and looking toward the future and what is trending, popularity. Capricorn energy looks at success, and Aquarius energy looks at crowd appeal or popularity, and also looks at the future, and sometimes can have rulership over things like technology and science, particularly the internet. Hey, if you are planning on launching a blog or you want to do something online, it is a great time of the year to do that, no matter what you have going on in your own natal chart. The energy that's going on with Aquarius right now says, yeah, put up your website, get out there online, reach out to people, take your creativity out there. What I feel particularly with the full moon and its intensity, and of course we had an eclipse as well, the blood moon, in that it was shadowed and makes it appear bloody, and it was visible for some people but not for all in the United States, and definitely an intense time emotionally for many people. And because this can be a house of children, pets, romance, creativity, no matter where you might have Leo energy in your chart, some of these issues might have come up. As I mentioned, the moon is in my third house. I have Leo energy in my third house. And if you want to know what your houses are and you don't know, you can find a link on my site over here that says find your ascendant and get your free birth chart. And that will tell you, that will show you where your houses are. So if you read your daily horoscope and you know your rising sign, that would be the sign to read for. That will give you an idea of what the transits are doing in your own natal chart. And let's take a look at what else we've got going on here. We have Jupiter in Scorpio, and it is no longer conjunct Mars. Mars has moved on, it's faster moving, and now it's 3 degrees into the fire sign of Sagittarius, and it's a loose trine here between the moon and Mars. That can give us enthusiasm to go after something that we might wish to create or that we're passionate about, whether it's a person or a creative idea. It can give us an extra burst of energy, particularly while the moon is transiting. And Mars in Sagittarius also gives a general tone of enthusiasm while it is moving through Sagittarius. It can make us pursue things that we normally would not, or that we might not believe is possible. We are more willing to take risks. Take a look and see what house Mars is moving through in your chart, and that can show you where you might be turning up extra energy to get things done, or where you might be willing to take some risks. Saturn is 4 degrees now into Capricorn, and Saturn in Capricorn, well, it's in the sign that it rules, and this can make it particularly strong. And it's a serious planet. It's about reality check, duty and responsibility, how you are viewed as an authority figure or an expert in something. And overall, I don't find it a hard placement, but some people do. And it is called the taskmaster for a good reason. So if you look at your chart to see where Saturn is, that can tell you where you might need to be serious about something. Pluto, very slow moving in Capricorn, has been for quite a while, will continue to be, still in a loose square with Uranus in Aries, and we still see that, I believe, on the global level in terms of what is traditional and patriarchal or old and wants to maintain power, and what is new and unique or unusual, or people speaking out individually, seeking change against the establishment. And we've been dealing with that for some time. Can continue in your own life. This can have a lot to do with individuality and breaking out and doing something new versus the rules, the conformity, applying the willpower or desire to actually overcome something that is challenging and to make something happen as a result. Mercury, as I said, it's just moved into Aquarius, and we have all that cerebral, analytical, social, yet detached. Aquarius is an interesting sign in that it usually benefits humanity some way, but it isn't always that the Aquarian sets out to do that. Very often it is just a byproduct of whatever they are mentally obsessed about that creates something for society that it benefits society, but they didn't go out necessarily wanting to save the world. Very often they simply do good works because they have their minds focused on the future and on change or improving things or finding out how to fix a problem in some way. And Leo sits opposite. All signs that are opposite each other, there's always that energy hidden within. So Leo learns something from Aquarius, and Aquarius learns something from Leo. And for both of them to become better balanced in their nature would be to allow some of the qualities of the opposing sign in. So when we are at full moons and things come to an intensity, if we look at things from an extreme position, we can very often find the answer or the solution in what sits opposite the moon. And I would say that Moon in Leo has the nature of being more egotistical or self-concerned, and Aquarius has more of the detachment and the concern for others, to not be as detached and as excitable over something. So I would say take it easy emotionally with this full moon and keep your passions in line with expectations, and to not push other people to fulfill your desires, to be able to accept that other people have their own individual needs, and that they have to come to things in their own time, or that they have a right to their own point of view. And if somebody doesn't want to play with you, whether it's in a creative way or romantically, and it is not for the best for both of you, to be able to detach and release it and let it go. There is a T-square in here with the moon, Jupiter, and Venus and Sun, and T-squares can be challenging, but in the case of a T-square involving Jupiter, which is a planet of growth and abundance, and Venus, which is a planet of pleasure and beauty and the affectionate nature or desires, overall, the two benevolent planets here soften the challenge of a T-square. So, like the song says, you might not always get what you want, but you might get what you need, or maybe the releasing of what you think you want and accepting something else or looking elsewhere may pull you toward the growth and something that is better for you. So I would avoid frustration and determination that something has to be a certain way when we do have a planet, signs that are associated, a sign that is associated with change, and planets in that sign of change, and a planet of growth here. And of course, Scorpio wants to have one way or the other, and in this case, it might not be that you can choose exactly which way it will be. Maybe somebody else will choose for you, and you will have to accept that that's the way that it is best. Many people might have the type of situation where things aren't going the way they want, but if they look back later, they will say, oh, if that hadn't happened the way it did, then I wouldn't be where I am right now. So I think we can expect some growth to be coming about, but not without a little bit of challenge, or maybe having to compromise or to release or let go, and allow for either other people's input or for things to change on us. So that's what's going on there in the full moon. And let's take a look over here at the Sabian symbol for the full moon. And the moon will be at 11 degrees and 37 minutes of Leo. It was actually this morning. It's moved on a bit, but the symbol for that degree rounded up to 12, an evening party of adults on a lawn illumined by fancy lanterns. Group relaxation in fashionable surroundings as an escape from work routine. While the preceding symbol dealt with the simple and spontaneous pleasure of children, this one refers to the more or less standardized and fashion-dictated relaxation of adults who have left behind their day's work and are exchanging pleasantries and gossip. The lawn and the lanterns are cultivated. The type of mind displayed in the animated conversation stimulated by liquor is thoroughly socialized and not always innocent. The great tradition has become reduced to a mere social fashion. This second stage symbol contrasts with that of the first phase. We have now reached a stage of sophistication and involvement in externals and superficial intellectuality or wit. I find this interesting because Leo is a very dramatic and showy sign, and of course rules the arts and drama, and it's about, how grand something is or how it looks, the appearance of something. And Aquarius energy is very intellectual and is the sign that likes to say, I think. So we have a combination of those energies in here, and I feel like we have lost something, though, through all the cultivation indicated. The stimulation by liquor, that can replace, I think of that as being kind of 12th house or Neptune energy there. Liquor representing spirit, literally, and we call it spirits for a reason, that there's a seeking of something outside of the self here rather than going internally, and everything is about external appearance. And there is the everybody as a group and a party is in agreement that they think they are better off, or they think this is something better, and that to stimulate conversation and become animated, they have to take in a substance in order to do that. And to me, it shows a certain amount of disconnect, even though a whole lot of people are together. I think that there's something here that's very superficial, and it's all about the show, and it's not about anything very purposeful. It's surface conversation. So perhaps that could be something to consider with the full moon. Where are you authentic and real? In your relationships with other people, especially in a larger or group setting, what are you giving into society? Or are you simply looking toward other people and situations on a larger level for your own entertainment, and that you don't want to touch on something that would be deep inside you, more primal or connected to spirit without an external stimuli that is creative and authentic? So something to meditate upon at the full moon might be that. This is what I get from the symbol. You might get something else from the symbol. On the surface, it does seem like, oh, well, that's a nice Sabian symbol. Everybody's having a party on the lawn and, catching a buzz. But what is really going on? Would you want to be there at that party, and for how long? Personally, I would not. I don't think I'd stay there very long. I'd probably wander off and see if there were some woods I could go hike in or something. It's not my nature anymore. Maybe when I was younger, I enjoyed that, but I don't so much anymore. And I look for more meaning to exchanges with people than making the social small talk. So where does our sophistication get us if it removes us from a deeper connection with other people? So something to think about. And I think that's it. Everybody have a good time over the rest of the full moon, and be safe, especially on the road. We still have some Scorpio energy in there, and the Uranus Aquarius energy can be unpredictable, so just watch yourself and keep in mind that people may be as stressed emotionally as you might be, and that people can behave erratically or impulsively while we are under a full moon, especially where we have Leo, which likes to be dramatic, and Aquarius, which can be erratic. So we have those energies to contend with. And usually about 2 days after the full moon or new moon is when we see things settle down, or if you've been waiting for something to occur, that's when you would be seeing it occur. So I will talk to you all soon. Have a good evening.